Hi, my name's Amanda. I am a coach and a trance channel, and I like to bring forward messages from beings of light who want to share their wisdom and guidance with you. Today I'm going to be channeling Shiva, and he's going to be talking about the process of transformation, specifically transformation that takes place during birth and transformation that takes place during death, and the surprising similarities between the two. It's a fascinating perspective that I never gave any thought to before, and I think you're really going to enjoy this one. If this is the type of content that you like, stick around and click subscribe because I've got so many more beings of light that want to come forward and introduce themselves to you.
I have been so patiently waiting for my opportunity to come forward in front of you all. And I am honored at this opportunity to finally share my side of the story. I desire to speak to all of you on the process of personal transformation, but the idea of personal transformation in a way that I desire to speak of it. For there are many different aspects of transformation that the human experiences inside of a lifetime, but the way in which I choose to speak of it today may be slightly surprising to you because it may not be a perspective that you have given much thought to in the way I plan on discussing it. Transformation is the entire purpose in you being here. If there was no opportunity to transform inside of a lifetime, then there would be a lot of unmet experiences, expectations, and desires left on the floor. You seek to experience versions of you so that you may transform inside of them and as a byproduct of them. Because there is something oddly dissatisfying about not having the opportunity to. We all exist to evolve in some capacity. It's what gives us a sense of purpose and it's what drives us forward inside of our lifetimes and inside of our existence and reality. And so the human perspective of transformation takes on certain connotations depending on the perspective that you hold inside of you. There is the aspect of transformation that involves aging, moving through time and space. And then there's the other aspect of transformation in terms of the way you look and the way you feel and the relationships that you exist inside of. Each one of these aspects of your experiences involve transformation of some capacity because they are already shifting and changing. Every moment of every day, you are shifting and changing. Your thoughts shift and change. The chemicals in your body shift and change. And as a byproduct, your energy levels, your belief systems, and the way you see yourself are always in motion. We're always moving, my loves, never stagnant, even if it feels differently. The aspect of transformation that I desire to speak into today is that of birth and subsequent death. And the reason why I decided to speak into these topics is because they will offer you something inside of seeing them in this capacity. Because the idea of birth is rejoiced, it is celebrated, it is oftentimes something that is expected and anticipated, oftentimes not. But there is an element of celebration involved in the creation of life. There is an aspect of anticipation of what that life may bring and the embodiment of a new sense of self that has been acquired and will require time, space, dedication, and gentle caring to elicit the type of being that is desired out of them and inside of the rapport with them. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's another form of transformation that holds a very different type of energy inside of it. The notion of death is not often celebrated, and it is very often mourned. Oftentimes it is not expected, and sometimes, in some capacities, embraced. But there is a degree of sadness, longing, and a desire not to think of it until it is upon you because of the fear associated inside of that form of transformation and the notion that it is not well understood and the perspectives that have been projected onto that form of transformation lend itself to the idea of many questions that we do not have answers to and the discomfort inside each and every single one of them, depending on your frame of reference. Transformation is the shift in consciousness, perspective, and physical embodiment from one state to another. And this can look and feel like many different things, but ultimately, is it a transformation in some capacity from one state of being to another that elicits a different outcome and response because of it? You come into this world and you transform from one state of being into another. And in that transformational process, you become different. You embrace a new sense of self and you embark on a whole new journey as this self with all new experiences and all new expectations and all new levels of opportunity available to you as a byproduct of it. And this is a gift that has been granted to you and through you that you are hoping to embrace, at least here and there, as it is inevitable that you will experience hardships, and at which point you will desire to move through them more quickly. And you will travel throughout your lifetime embracing and rejecting many different forms of transformation as you grow and evolve, as you experience yourself in different capacities, and as you interact with the world around you, as you learn and as you grow and as you take things in, and as you experience loss until it is such a point where it is time to depart once more. And this transformational process is not something that is often celebrated. However, there is a celebration inside of it that you may not be aware is taking place for you. Because when you depart this world and enter into the next one, you are transforming your consciousness once more from this sense of self into another. And when you leave this physical body behind you, you enter back into a state of being that you once more embrace. And those around you, inside of a similar state of awareness, welcome you home. And you look back at all of the transformation that took place, feeling fulfilled by it. Because this was a journey that you anticipated and that you spent much of your life not really fully understanding until such a time as you are ready to look back in awe at all that you accomplished, all that you've been through, and the effects that it truly had on you as a soul being. And when you are inside of the state of awareness, looking back at your lifetime, you see the bigger picture. You see how it served you on a deeper capacity. And that is the way it has been designed, my loves, is that you will not always see the big picture until it is complete. Because when you are creating something and you are inside the creation itself. You are simply absorbed inside of what you are doing in that moment. And sometimes it is hard to take a step back and see the bigger picture until it is fully complete. This is what I would desire to speak into today, is this aspect of transformation and sense of creation, where when you are inside of the process, it is very difficult to understand what the point of it is. Because sometimes you create for the sake of creation itself, and there is no purpose inside of it other than the joy of creating something that calls to you. How is living inside of a lifetime any different? You come here to experience yourself inside of a creation experience. You are experiencing transformation through the act of creation. You are creating opportunities, you are creating conflicts, you are creating experiences, and you are creating a sense of self through which you are transforming, evolving, and changing all the time. And there is no purpose to it other than the purpose that you desire to create of it. And once more, this offers itself a sense of embodiment that can only be very well understood until after the fact. What I'm trying to show you, my loves, is that you are constantly evolving, changing, transforming, and creating. And it is all for those purposes themselves. There's nothing inherently meaningful, meaningless, or desired inside of your experience of you. You get to choose that for yourself. And the transformational prospect of birth and death lends itself to this too. But when you are inside of a lifetime, it is hard to see it that way. It is hard to see that when you depart this lifetime, you are still transforming and creating and giving purpose to your sense of self. And that this lifetime was simply one of many designed to add to the bigger picture of the creation that you are designing for yourself, which is ultimately who you are. The transformation associated with birth lends itself to the birth of a new idea of you. And when you leave this lifetime, you are tying a bow inside of that experience of you in order to embrace another one. And there is nothing inherently wrong inside of this transformational process. And it is something to allow yourself to experience in whatever way it comes through for you, because it is not easy to say goodbye to life, to loved ones that are departing here. You have built connections with them throughout your lifetime, and they mean something to you. And I honor the mourning inside of that experience and a desire for you to know that it is important that you take the time to grieve. Do not push those emotions aside because you came here to experience them. There is no death in this capacity once you leave a physical incarnation. And so you came here to experience what it feels like to experience that sort of transformation and the absence of that individual inside of your life after the fact. It is an incredibly painful experience and realization to have when your loved one is no longer around you in physical form. And so I encourage you to be inside of that experience for all that it is, but also perhaps at the same time see that it is simply a transformational experience that they have decided to undergo at that time for a specific purpose, because it lends itself to the bigger sense of self that they are desiring to experience. And so both aspects of this truth can be real for you at the same time. On the one hand, you can understand the transformation that they are desiring to undergo. And on the other hand, you can mourn for the loss of them inside of your physical reality. The notion that transformation is not always an ongoing process is one that is not fully understood. And this is why I desire to speak into it today. Allow for transformation to unfold for you in whatever way it's desiring to, because sometimes it will not feel easy. Sometimes it will not feel right, but that is what transformation is. It's a shifting and changing of who you are and how you see you. And sometimes you will see aspects of you that you do not like, that you do not feel worthy of, or that you wish to do away with completely. That in and of itself is an aspect of you that is shifting and transforming before your very eyes because you are seeing yourself through a new lens. And you get to choose the next part of that transformational process. You get to choose whether or not you desire to accept it or whether you desire to push it away from you and to not have any part in it. And there is no right or wrong choice. There is simply the experience you are desiring in that moment because it lends itself to the creation of your entire existence. And so, what I would like to leave you with today is the notion that transformation is something to be either revered or feared, because it is neither one nor the other. It is simply an aspect of your existence that is constantly unfolding for you in different ways and under different capacities, and that can be witnessed or shunned. But regardless, it is taking place all around you and through you, inside of you and by you. It is both a gift and a curse, depending on how you see it. But either way, it is a part of your existence and something to be held through a new lens, perhaps after this conversation today. Thank you so much for allowing me to come forward and share my perspective with all of you. Call upon me anytime you desire a fresh perspective inside of the transformation constantly unfolding for you. Whether you desire to see it differently or the same, or simply desire an experience of you that you are seeking most. I love you fully and deeply. My regards inside of this experience of transformation for you.